Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Comically Offensive. Today, we're doing an edition called We Really Fucked Up and We Forgot to Record Basically Everything, and we're doing this really last minute. But we've been talking about doing something like this for a little while now, and we think now's a decent time to try it out. We're going to do an interview episode. We've mentioned it on our Twitter. We're going to be mainly doing just like a sort of Ask Jen episode. She's our little candidate for today.
Ooh.
Something about that sounded
I was
creepy.
going to say, that was a really weird way to word it.
Yeah.
I'm the candidate.
Yeah, you're the little candidate.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Candidate.
I think it was the little part.
Yeah.
That was weird. But, yeah, anyways, yeah, she's our candidate. We're just going to be, we've asked Twitter to give us a couple questions, and we've come up with a couple questions ourselves. So we're just going to start.
Get right into it.
Yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. So I just want to start off just like typical interview. Just tell us a bit about yourself, Jen. Just what do you want everyone to know?
All right. I am Jen. I am 22 years old. I'm about to turn 23 in less than a month, which is scary but exciting. I'm a senior in college. I am studying English with a concentration in creative writing. It is my last semester, actually, so I will be done at the end of this year. In December is my last month of college, which is scary yet exciting. And after I finish college, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but whatever it is, I hope it is fun and allows me to pursue what I like doing, which is like writing. I actually like some forms of data analysis, so stuff like that.
Nice.
Nerd shit.
I also like Batman, specifically the Bat family, Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown. They're my babies. They're my little children. And then I, like writing. Sometimes I write fanfic. Sometimes I write original stuff. And I'm actually, one of the reasons why we haven't been able to record is I was elected as editor-in-chief of the literary journal that my school runs. So that's a lot of work. And
Fancy.
I've got imposter syndrome about it, which is a little scary, but I will make it happen somehow.
You got this.
Yeah. So I guess let's start with the questions. Oh, I would like to apologize in advance. My allergies decided to kick me in the ass this week. So I'm a little congested, so we're going to try to edit out any excessive sniffling or coughing, but you might hear some occasionally.
Yeah, I'll just mute your whole audio.
that works.
Yeah, for the interview episode. Just get rid of it. You guys can actually theorize what she said, you, the listeners.
Uh-huh. It's a fill in the blanks.
It's like interpretive Mad Libs.
It's supposed to be fun.
All right, Jake, you want to start off with our first question?
Sure. Yeah. What is your favorite family tradition?
So, this one, I was saying earlier when we were talking about it. There are two that I kind of want to talk about. The first one is a tradition that we started doing the day before Thanksgiving, because we would usually go to other places on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We've stopped doing it now that we've started hosting Thanksgiving at my house again, because my relatives stopped doing it at their house. But we would make this huge... We invite a bunch of people over, and we make veal scallopini marsala. And
oh, snap.
It's like when you, basically with a meat hammer, you pound the meat until it's really thin.
I know that game.
And then you lightly fry it. And I think scallopini, if I'm correct, I think that's the type of pasta that we use. It's like a kind of a version of spaghetti. I think we usually just end up using spaghetti or like a linguine type pasta. Or then you do like a marsala sauce, and it's really good. It's really savory, and it's, hella Italian, and it's a great way to kind of, it's a great thing to do right before Thanksgiving, when you're about to eat all that turkey. And this was usually before, we would go somewhere else for Thanksgiving, so this would give us the leftovers in our house, like the non-traditional Thanksgiving leftovers. But again, we haven't done this at my house in a couple of years. And the second one that I really like. It's one that my mom started when my brother and I were kids, and I actually had a dream last night where we didn't do this, and I got really, really upset, like to the point of like this was a dream, like in the dream I had like a nervous breakdown. And what
Oh,
this
dang.
tradition is on Christmas Eve, we're allowed to open one present. Well, my parents are divorced, so
Hmm.
now we open all our presents at our mom's house, and we open my mom's presents at her house. But my mom, on Christmas Eve, would get us pajamas, a special pair of pajamas. And
Hmm.
that would be the, Christmas present we opened up on Christmas Eve were the pajamas that she got us just for Christmas. So we would open that up and we would, have our pajamas and we'd wear them because she would be like, yeah, why have you open the pajamas on Christmas morning? Like, what's the point of wearing your Christmas pajamas like the day after Christmas, essentially? So
My family has that exact same tradition.
yeah, so that's just like one of my favorite traditions. And
Yeah.
usually, what I'll do is at my mom's house. Sometimes I'll put them on, but I've actually started doing like a thing where I take a bath on Christmas Eve too,
Yeah.
because usually like you're pretty stressed and stuff like that. So if I have all my presents wrapped and stuff like that, I will just like get like a bath bomb and take a bath, or like usually a bath bomb and some bubble bath. Like I'll go full out and I'll listen to like some nice classical Christmas music or some like jazz, and I'll light a bunch of candles, and I'll just take like the most relaxing bath ever
Gotta
on
treat yourself.
Christmas Eve, and then I'll put on my Christmas pajamas.
We have a very similar tradition. It's not like anything specific, but it's just whatever me and my sister got each other.
Oh,
She'll
yeah.
open my gift, and I'll open her gift on Christmas Eve.
It's pretty awesome. All right, next question.
Alrighty. So I wanted to just go for my question, for my first question. I don't know how many we're going to do, depending on how much time we have.
Actually, about
Um,
300.
yeah, we just have
I'll be here
6,000 questions,
forever.
actually. I just want to know, what's your most outrageously funny story? I'm a man of comedy.
All right, so one of the funniest stories that my dad and I tell. I don't know if this is like the funniest story that I like have in my arsenal, but this is the one that I probably tell the most as a funny story. So one night, my dad makes pizza, and my dad was obsessed with making pizza. So we have all these random sauces and stuff like that, and I decide to make myself like the ultimate dynamo white pizza. I
Hmm.
put this like Alfredo sauce, and then we have this like mega garlic sauce from Trader Joe's, and I put that on there, and I put cloves of roasted garlic on there, and I put broccoli on there, and then I put cheese on there, and it's like the most garlicky, broccoli, cheesy explosion ever, and it's absolutely delicious. So the next day, my dad and I are gonna fly out, like, we're about to fly out to New York. So we're at the airport, and there are some issues with our flight, and I have really, really bad gas. And my dad and I are sitting there at the airline counter, and I'm just trying to, like, hold these farts in because it's just, sometimes when it's gonna be bad. And I was like, this is gonna be bad. Like, so I was just trying to hold it in. And there's like, my dad's negotiating with the guy at the airline counter, like, yeah, like, blah, 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 get a, blah, 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 get us out of here. Like, we need to get to New York, blah, blah, blah. And this is the issue, like, an issue with my airport, like, from where I'm from. Like, for some reason, like, if you're flying to the Northeast, you always have issues with your flight. This just always happens. But, so we're at the counter, and I try to really subtly let one rip, and it's quiet, but it's like, it's almost got that feeling to it that you just know, oh no,
Oh
this
boy.
is not a good fart. And so I catch a whiff of it, and it is the most god awful rank thing I have ever smelled in my life. And it was like almost oily, like where it like lingers in your like
Ugh.
nose, like in your nasal cavity. It was rank. It smelled like a little garlic. It was just awful. It was like a thick cloud.
Thick.
Good
And
fucking lord.
so my dad's standing right next to me, and he looks at me. His eyes go a little wide, and I go, Dad! And I start hitting his chest, and I'm laughing and hitting his chest, and And then he gets a smell of it because he can't deny it because he gets a whiff of it and he starts laughing too and he's
Ugh.
just like, Jen! And he starts laughing so hard he gets like tears in his eyes. And the poor dude at the aircraft counter, or the airline counter, he was a squat little dude and he had one of those haircuts. He had like the George Costanza, like bald at the top but with like a little dollop in the middle of his forehead and glasses, and he was this kind of squat guy, and he goes, "Excuse me, I believe somebody has just relieved themselves." And he walks away.
Oh
And
man.
I'm like, oh shit, this guy is... My dad looks at me, he's like, you fucked up. Like, this guy just left in the middle of trying to figure shit out for us. And he comes back. Like, the thing is, though, the worst part of it is he comes back, like, a couple minutes later, and the smell is still lingering. And he just comes back
Ugh.
and sniffs and then just turns back around. And I was terrified because we were about to go on a plane. And this was right after that story where in London, the dude had like shit in the airplane and it had to turn around and emergency land because it smelled so bad. I was like, oh no, I'm going to fart on this plane and it's going to have to make an emergency landing. Luckily that didn't happen. But God, like just at that airline counter, the most noxious fart ever, and the poor airline guy going, I believe somebody has relieved themselves, and just walking away.
Jeez.
It's, I'm comfortable around these people, and I will tell them the story of me farting and almost getting kicked out of an airport, because this guy he'd, like, denied us service for, like, a solid, like, 10 minutes, because the smell was lingering, and it was so bad.
Comes back with like a gas mask.
I know, right? Surprised he didn't get air freshener or something like that.
That would have been like impressive, like just like that would have just been it'd been so much better of a story to tell. It probably would have like traumatized you at the time, but it would have been so much better of a story to tell. It'd be like, yeah, I grounded a plane when I farted on it.
Yeah, that would have been a great story, but it also would have been like supremely embarrassing because I was also
Mm-hmm.
like, I wasn't like 15 or 16 when this happened. I was 20. So it's like me as an adult. You can't even blame it on, the kid. It's just like, nope.
Yeah.
As a fully grown adult that can't contain her own farts.
I would carry that with like a badge of honor. I'd be like, you hear about that guy on the news? That's me.
Oh my gosh.
I did that.
I did that.
Yeah, my family has some magnificent abilities in terms of that kind of stuff and rankness and the ability to clog pipes.
Oh boy.
I remember my dad was talking about our house, and he was like, yeah, I had to get new toilets installed in the whole house because my family has a tendency to clog pipes with our poops because they're just so big. And I was like, Dad, why are you telling people this?
It's a story for a party.
It is. It's a good party story. That's usually where I tell it.
Hey, I bet I can make everyone leave this room.
Yeah. Honestly, give me enough milk and cheese and garlic and I can make it happen. All right. So, the next question.
All right, we asked a few questions. We asked for our Twitter followers to submit some questions for the podcast to ask Jen.
At Comic Offensive on Twitter.
Yeah. Follow us. Links are in the description, as they always are.
Nobody reads descriptions, though.
Listen, I mean, I can't read, so
They
I
do for our
understand that.
link dumps. I think our link dumps
Yeah.
are pretty good.
Yeah, we put together a nice link dump, so if you guys haven't been checking those out, you definitely should. Compile all the stuff that we talk about. But we asked on Twitter. We got a couple of responses, and I'm just gonna read them as in the order that we got them. At Chelsea Harfus asks, "Do you like me? Yes, no, or maybe?"
I do. I do like Chelsea. Chelsea is a great person. She's a short girl with a large personality.
Damn.
And
She's
she's really
thick.
funny. Yeah. Like, she's really funny. She's also really nice. She's been great in, like, supporting us,
Get
in
a
the Let's
room.
Gay community. I wish.
Whoa.
She tolerates all my, like, comments asking about, like, her cat. Because
Mm-hmm.
I always ask about people's pets because, I don't really get to see mine a lot. And my 2 dogs passed away in the past year, so... I only have 1 dog left now, and I don't get to see her a lot. So I always ask about other people's pets because, to compensate for my allergies and all that. So, she's really nice and she's pretty awesome. So yes, Chelsea, I like you. I check yes on your little
Dang.
virtual note that you essentially passed me through Comic Offensive's Twitter.
Y'all are gonna get detention.
I feel like it's not passing notes if you put it on a public platform.
Yeah, true.
That's like if you pass notes in class by going up to the whiteboard and writing it.
I'm just gonna go up and write send nudes.
That'd be an interesting strategy. Yeah, send news
Hey.
and put your Snapchat under it.
Yeah, a class of 30 people, I'm sure at least one person would send something.
Hopefully.
True, but it's not going to be the hot person that you think
It's
it
No, it'll be the
definitely not going to be
teacher.
the. It's not.
Oh boy.
It's not going to be the one you want.
Yeah.
No, it'll just be me sending them to myself.
All right, and then we got another fan question from @theJacobMeyer on Twitter, which is, who is your favorite co-host and why is it me?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. I wonder who @theJacobMeyer is. I've never heard of this
Yeah,
person
no idea.
before in my life. I
probably ban
really
him.
can't choose a favorite co-host because I think that with the dynamic that we have here at Comic Offensive,
You
it
hate all of
relies-
us?
I don't hate all of us. I'm in the middle of speaking Jacob.
Sorry.
But I
This-
think the dynamic
This
of
is
Comic
her
Offensive
episode.
is that we really, like, the four of us just work so well that, you know, you can't really have favorites. I mean, we all know Jacob's favorite is Woozy, because they're
True.
California dream
'Cause he
babes
lets me eat his
with each
ass.
other. Yeah, basically. But, yeah, I think I really can't choose, like, a favorite co-host. Like, I will say that I respect Raptor's work ethic, or Austin's work
Yeah.
ethic, because he's got an insane amount of love and, you know, the work ethic to make this project really come to life.
Fucking love. That
Aw.
sounds gay if you ask me.
So,
A little too spicy. Loving a podcast with two dudes on it? Fellas?
mm-mm. You got two dudes and just a girl.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they
Whoa.
say, it's not gay if it's a three-way.
That's true. Hey, just wait a couple months.
I actually, just brief little story from me.
Wow, this is
Um,
Jen's episode.
I know it is
You're
Jen's
really gonna
episode.
do that?
Podcast.
No, it makes sense. It's in the fucking. If you pay attention, it'll.
Narcissist.
Yeah, that's me for sure.
Hmm
I guess I can take over your role now. But no, I actually successfully argued amongst my group of friends, because we'll talk about this in a later episode. We've been having the "is it gay" discussion a lot, like
Mhm.
like just like for different scenarios.
Oh boy.
And like, it's just been like honestly just really fun. But I successfully argued the last time we had this discussion that if you're not on Earth, nothing is gay. But
You're
that's my
not
little
on
tidbit.
Earth, nothing is gay?
Yeah, because gay is only something that exists on Earth.
I guess so.
You don't know that.
Like,
I
gay
wonder
is an
what
Earth
Star
construct.
Trek... I wonder what the Star Trek fandom would think of that.
No, gay is an Earth construct. If you're on the moon, if you're in space, it isn't gay.
Well, I guess I know where I'm taking you for your birthday.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Help!
Are you guys gonna go to Uranus together?
Oh, you know it.
Oh boy.
You proud of yourself for that joke?
Yes, I am. Very proud of myself.
Alright, and let's go to our final Twitter question. From Malshaw, @Malshaw on Twitter. Who's your favorite listener and why is it me?
Pretty similar question
Well,
to the last one.
my favorite listener is you. Whoever it is that's listening right now, it's you. You're my favorite listener.
Can we just end the podcast right now?
Hard cut to the title.
But I am
of
going to
the
end
screen.
the answer to the question there.
Oh shit, we need to, if we're ending the podcast, we need a Connor's Corner, am I right, guys?
Oh my gosh.
No, we've got. If Connor's not here, he can do his corner in the comments or something.
Impromptu Connor's Corner. Go listen to North Pole by Injury Reserve.
We should do a Connor's corner where we tell people the song titles, but not the artist. They have to find it.
Yeah.
They have to decide what we're talking about.
Just like,
For
good
sure.
luck finding it.
All right, who's next up for question? Is it Jacob?
I could do another question.
Yeah, we'll do one more from each of us, then we'll go to lightning round.
Okay. So as we all know, you're very into comic books.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, is there like one specific comic series or graphic novel that got you into comic books?
It's honestly probably Watchmen.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I remember watching the movie with my mom and my friend Annalise, and just thinking,
Shout out.
yeah, shout out to Annalise.
Hope they're
You're probably
listening.
not listening to this.
Hope you're watching, Annalise.
I don't think she would enjoy this podcast.
Shout out to all the people watching this.
Yeah.
Listen, I say watching, it's just like, it's a force of habit. Don't bully me. If you're listening to it on YouTube, you're still technically watching. I rest my case.
But, yeah, it would probably be Watchmen, just because it's a really good kind of introduction. It's a really good standalone work, and I think it's a really good introduction into the comic. You know, the idea, like, because you're so used to the black and white ethics of it, it's a really good, you know, questioning of the ethics, and it's a really good, you know, it's a really good graphic novel, and I really think that the distinction between comic book and graphic novel is something that kind of needs to be, I don't think it's something that needs to be made, but I think it's an interesting distinction, and I really do think, while Watchmen does have its distinctive issues within the comic, I think that it has, you know, its strength is in the fact that it's often read now as a graphic novel. And just some of the stylistic choices that are made within the comic, like the, I think the Fearful Symmetry chapter, and just the symmetry throughout the graphic novel, in terms of, like, how it's visually structured. Very beautiful. And just, again, like, the questions of the ethics. And the thing is, Watchmen is a confusing comic. Like, somebody, the first time I read it when I was in high school, somebody asked me what it was about. And I said, I honestly couldn't tell you what it was about. And this particular person, who was a toxic person in my life, who is no longer in my life, she got upset with me because I was unable to explain to her what it was about. And I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, I really can't explain to you what this is about. It's really complicated. And then I actually got out of comic books for a really long time. Just, again, like, because I think the reason why I tried really hard to get into comic books and into Batman specifically when I was in high school, and this is around 2010, 2011, and the issue was that we did not have the comprehensive wikis that you had back then. So if you wanted to find information out about, like, Batman or about Dick Grayson in different universes, you couldn't find it online. You had to buy the graphic novels to read it. Right now there's so much more of an availability of information on it that you don't have to buy every issue to know everything about it. You just have to be willing to research it and to read about it, which is really nice. And I think the thing that really got me back into it was probably Under the Red Hood. I was sort of, it wasn't, you know, it's not a graphic, like, I'm not talking about the graphic novel, I'm talking about the movie. The graphic novel is amazing, though, it should be read. But I watched Young Justice. I really I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. And then somebody linked something about Under the Red Hood, and I think that was when I made the dive back into, you know, the Batman universe and comic books and stuff like that. Like, it was a picture of Jason Todd that somebody blogged on my Tumblr that got me really back into it. But what really, really got me into the character Jason Todd and buying, you know, graphic novels again and really looking into it and buying everything was Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best DC animated movies. DC animated used to be really good. They've released some really shitty stuff because Bruce Timm can't get his shit together. Like, he just needs to write fanfic and not, you know, publish. Or
they need to step up their game again.
Yeah, they need to step up their game.
I'm trying to remember if I've seen it or not. I think I have.
It's really good.
It's basically what the Arkham Knight story was based on.
Yeah.
Well, I know what the Red Hood story is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find it online. It's really easy.
Yeah. I'm just trying to recall if I've seen. I know I've, like, seen clips and stuff. I'm just trying to recall if I've seen it in its entirety.
Yeah, it's worth watching it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I could probably do a stream of it with you guys, because I own it on Amazon, because
Oh, hell yeah.
I rented
that way
it
it
on
won't be
Amazon like
illegal.
3 times before I was like, why don't I just buy this? I've watched it so many
Yeah.
times. Alright, next question.
Alrighty. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a dealer's choice question. What's a story just about you, about your life in general, that you want to tell?
Oh boy.
Something you want to tell us about.
Jesus.
Jesus?
No.
Do you know
This
him?
is a
Big man
really, this is
JC?
a really difficult one, honestly. I feel bad. Like, it's one of those things where when somebody asks you to tell them a story, and you're like, I can't.
Just make it up.
I don't know. I feel so bad.
Just do an impromptu audiobook reading of one of your fanfics.
Maybe not one of my fanfics, but maybe one of my like really badly written like original fiction pieces that's sitting in my creative writing folder.
Hell yeah.
I feel bad, but I can't come up with something. Is there another question?
You don't got any cool stories, Jay?
I
mean,
have
I
another
do.
one.
I just can't think of one off the top of my head.
I could think of a question.
Go for
Alright.
it, Jacob.
If you could read any book for the first time again, what book would you choose?
That's another difficult one.
Loaded question. She can't read.
Yeah, loaded question. I'm illiterate.
Dang.
I'm like trying to think back on books that I've read that I've really enjoyed. I'm just gonna kind of go on like a little stream of consciousness thing here as I try to think through it. One of the ones that I'm thinking of is Anthem by Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand is famous for Atlas Shrugged, which is like the capitalist Tea Partier's dream novel. But I think Ayn Rand's Anthem is a really good. I haven't read it in a very long time. I will admit that.
Which
But,
one is that?
It's one where you start out with these characters and their names are basically like an adjective and numbers. And it, you know, at the beginning of the book, you see these characters and they have no concept of self. And it's about these characters that are in a collective finding out about the concept of self and mythology and technology. And because the book is just we, us, you know, pronouns at the beginning, and then it switches into and then like the character discovers like books and he discovers I and the self. And I think
I have
that
read
novel
that one. Yes.
that novel I think was just really, you know, I read it in 8th grade. It was really mind-blowing for me at 8th grade to just read that and to be there with that moment, discovering that self with that character is such a strong moment that, like, you know, I would love to relive that moment again because it was just a very strong moment, you know, for me in 8th grade. And God, like, it sounds almost terrible, but, like, thinking about me in 8th grade, just, like, reading books and stuff like that and reliving, like, the wonder of it, part of me almost says Twilight. But at the same time, I knew that if I could read Twilight for the first time in this, like, state of being that I am now, I would probably hate it. But, you know, just thinking back to, like, how much I loved it when I was, like, a kid.
I still think it's fun.
Yeah. Or maybe, one of the ones, The Long Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Because I read that earlier this year, or was it? Yeah, it was earlier this year. And it was just so good. Or, like, The Long Halloween or The Killing Joke.
Because I still need to read Long Halloween.
Both of them are really good. The Long Halloween isn't just a good graphic novel. I'm not going to spoil it, by the way. It's just genuinely a good mystery novel. It's a great Batman novel in that it's not Batman the vigilante, it's Batman the world's greatest detective, and you actually get a really good sense of that mystery thriller. And, like, obviously it's got all the comic book action and stuff like that, but I also think it holds itself really strongly as a really good, well-thought-out mystery. The writers of that one just did a phenomenal job with it. As well as some of the art in that one is amazing, too. It's a very engaging story, and I really enjoyed reading that one. It was, you know, fun to be like, ooh, I think it's this person. No, wait, it's this person that's doing all this. It's so good. I wish I could go into that from the beginning again because it's so just so fun.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's great. You should definitely read it. I think I had 2 copies. I think one of them belonged to a friend, and I think I gave it back to him.
It's yours now.
I don't think I brought it with me to school, so
Mm-hmm.
if I did, I would send it to you, but I don't think I brought it with me.
Right.
All right, so are we ready? Oh, fucking ready. Are we ready for the lightning
Y'all
round?
ready?
Are we ready for the lightning round?
We're going to talk like this for the lightning round.
Oh, God.
I'll just kill myself now.
Oh, what's this?
What's what? What? Is that the first question?
No,
Yeah,
that was
What
Okay.
is in my pocket?
that was me trying to make a joke and it failed.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So lightning round, we're just gonna a little less traditional lightning round. We're just gonna ask just the basic questions. Jacob, you want to start?
Yeah, what's your social security number?
Also, very quickly, we'll
My social security number does not exist, but if you type a name and social security number into Equifax, it will tell you if your dog has, if your dog's information has been compromised.
wait. Has Skittles' information been compromised? Should I be worried?
You can look it up. You can enter Skittles' name and a random
fuck.
social security number, and you'll find out. And then you can enter his name and another random social security number, and you will get a totally different answer.
Shit.
Hopefully the Twitter account wasn't hacked.
That's true.
I hope Skittles' Twitter account doesn't get hacked. I love that account.
All right, but for real, question times.
We'll just
What
interchange. You ask one, I'll ask one.
All right, what is your favorite food?
My mom's pot roast.
Hell yeah.
It's delicious.
What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal, either a wolf, a fox.
We can't talk.
I know, right? Either
That's a
wolf.
great thing for podcasters to have.
I know,
Yeah.
right? It would be either a wolf, a fox, or a gazelle, or these little skinny, little deer things. I think they're. Don't remember if they're called dik-diks or something else, but I
Yeah,
think they might be
dik-diks.
called dik-diks.
I know they are. Yeah. Dick dick.
Is their last name
Yeah,
Grayson
those
Grayson?
things. There's
Yeah.
also something that looks like a dik-dik, but it's like got longer legs. I don't remember what it's called though. But yeah, either a wolf, a gazelle, a fox, or maybe a dik-dik.
Nice.
I just want to see a hybrid fan art of every single one of those animals.
It
And
would
Jen.
look frightening.
That's true.
That
I
would
want
be even
Jen
more
in there
frightening.
too.
Yeah, it'll just have Jen's face on it.
Yeah.
Jesus, no.
Be like a mythological monster.
I can already see my face on it and just no.
You've heard of the manticore.
Ugh.
Now
Those
look
are-
at whatever this thing we made is.
Oh.
The Gen of Docs.
Oh, dear
Ugh.
Lord.
What is your favorite color?
It's pink.
Nice.
Oh my god, you're so fucking basic.
I know, right? It's not millennial pink though. I'm not
I
really.
bet you like pumpkin spice too.
I get one pumpkin spice latte a year, and then I'm reminded of how overrated it is.
Get one
Mhm.
pumpkin spice latte a year to sedate the white girl urges.
Exactly. Hot apple cider is way better than pumpkin spice. Honestly.
Mhm.
We just lost our entire basic girl audience.
Sorry, Chelsea.
Basic girls. Apple cider is the new pumpkin spice, didn't you know?
Sorry, Chelsea.
No.
All right.
Chelsea.
What is your favorite video game?
It's probably Borderlands 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was going through some rough stuff, and I would put earbuds in with Borderlands 2 audio, and then I would put headphones over that with really loud music, and I would just play Borderlands 2. And that was what I did
Alright.
every day after school for a little while. I also like Stardew Valley, but
Yeah.
Borderlands 2, I think that one means a little bit more to me.
It's a great game.
I got about an hour into it. All right, Jacob, you got anything else?
Do you have a favorite song right now?
Do I? It would probably be something by The Killers, but I don't know if I have a favorite song right now. If I had to choose a song by The Killers, I would say The Man, just because that's been my jam for, like, the past over a month now. I think it's, like, closer to, like, a month and a half that song has been my jam.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a good song, and I keep listening to it because it's so good and catchy, and it's very glam, and you can just rock out to it, and it just feels great to rock out to it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're definitely very Vegas-y.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like they've gotten a lot more Vegas-y, too. They're like, some of their stuff is less Vegas-y, but The Man is all about it. And I love that.
Oh shit, it's my turn. Alright,
Yeah.
Here we go. It's your boy. What's your favorite movie?
It's The Dark Knight. I have a lot of friends that don't like it, but, you know,
Who the fuck doesn't like The Dark Knight?
I know, right?
It's like Interstellar, bad reviews.
Yeah, it's like a very
got terrible
bad
reviews.
reviews. It's a very strong movie. I think it's great because it challenges Batman's ethics. It's, you know, I forever am going to be impressed with the fact that The Dark Knight was a comic book movie that won Oscars, because that just seems like something
Suicide Squad.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yo, Suicide Squad retweeted my tweet once. Fucking
I
really?
remember that.
Yeah.
What?
Didn't it get like 400 likes or something?
It actually got less likes than a tweet that I just made myself. But no,
Link to that in the link dump, please.
Yeah, I'll put the link to that tweet. Because they did this thing during South by where you could get free Suicide Squad temporary tattoos.
Oh.
And I went and got one. And I posted it. It was Killer Croc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it just blew up on Twitter. I think it got like 200 or 300 likes on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight is one of my favorites. And then another favorite movie of mine also has the word knight in it, also has Heath Ledger in it, A Knight's Tale.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Yeah, just because of the fun historical anachronisms in that movie, and the soundtrack, and just the story. I remember seeing that with my dad in the movie theater when I was a kid, and just, we bought it on Blu-ray, and we wore out the Blu-ray, so we had to buy another one. And we have this weird movie mural in my house, and he is on that movie mural. So, yeah, it's one of my family's favorite movies, and I'm taking a Chaucer class right now at school.
Oh,
And
yeah.
anytime my professor brings up that movie, I just kind of do a little happy dance in my seat, because I'm like, she doesn't hate it. Next question.
This is from Connor, and it's,
Oh, boy.
if you had one piece of advice on how to ask a girl out, what would it be?
Just do it, honestly.
Yeah, Connor, you pussy.
I would rather a guy be direct and ask me out and me say no than the two of us dance around each other for a long period of time, not knowing where we stand. I would
That's
rather
the
a guy
millennial
ask
way,
me out,
Jen.
I guess, but I would also rather, and the thing is, if you ask a girl out, specify that it's a date, because I've also gone out with guys and it's apparently not been a date.
Oh,
And
really?
it's just like, yeah.
Who
I
the
went out
fuck
with,
asked someone out on not a date?
I got lunch with a guy, and we had a great time, but it turned out he had a girlfriend. And the thing is, I couldn't tell if he was just a really friendly guy, and that we were, or if we were actually legitimately flirting, and it was really hard to tell. But it turned out he also did this with a lot of other girls, so
Yikes.
it was a little less surprising. But yeah, if you ask a girl out on a date, just be direct and just do it, because girls, unfortunately, unless they're really, really assertive, won't ask guys out sometimes. So yeah, just be assertive and just be like, yeah, do you want to go on a date sometime? And
Walk up to her, say,
I
life's short,
understand,
but my dick ain't.
the want to be subtle and be like, you want to get dinner, you want to get a drink, you want to get coffee, but sometimes you just also have to specify that it's a date. Be direct. That's the best thing I can say, because I don't, I can't say I've ever met a girl that has not liked when a guy is direct in situations like that.
Yeah, it's better to like just get it out there and then have you
Yeah.
either reject it or you get a date than to
Yeah.
just like keep it in your mind.
Yeah, at the worst, the girl says no and things are a little awkward between you. But
Mhm.
honestly, like, would you rather it, she says no and things are awkward between you, or you missed a chance? Like, it's like a 50-50. She says no, it's awkward, or, you ask her out, she says yes, and you have a great time.
Mhm.
So I feel like somebody just threw like a rock or something at my window, but I have no idea. It also may have been somebody living above me just making noise. It's hard to tell in this building.
I'm going to go with both. Someone living above you threw a rock at your window.
How does that work? We will never know.
All right. Fuck, I closed my questions on accident.
Wow.
No, I didn't. I was
Longest
fucking
lightning round
lying.
ever, too.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shut up. How long have we been going for?
43 minutes.
This lightning round is going to be half of the podcast.
We'll do a couple more questions, but we'll cut that down.
Okay.
I'm going to go with, I've got to pander to myself. So what is your favorite dinosaur?
Favorite dinosaur has to be Archaeopteryx.
Hell yeah. Barely counts, but it counts.
It counts. It's a
For,
transition fossil.
For
Yes.
people that might not know, what type of dinosaur is that? Like, what's
So
it do?
Archaeopteryx is a transition. It's a famous transition fossil that proves that birds and dinosaurs were related.
Mhm.
It's basically a reptilian dinosaur that has feathers,
Oh.
but it also has like the reptilian like teeth, and it's very important for it's an important evolutionary fossil.
Mhm.
Like it's proof that evolution is real and that birds evolved from dinosaurs.
Sounds pretty rad.
So that's why Archaeopteryx is my favorite.
Hell
I don't know any dinosaurs besides I feel like Austin has said they're not dinosaurs or something, but I like a lot of the water stuff.
yeah. If it lived in the water or if it lived in the sky, it wasn't a dinosaur.
I mean, like, I don't really care though.
I never said that you had to. In fact, like, one of the things that I'll say probably and get into on another podcast, I can't stand the people who are like, fucking, oh, Jurassic Park's all fucking fake and shit. Like, grow up and watch a movie.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
But you got any other questions, Jacob, or?
When is this podcast gonna end?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Right now. Hope everyone enjoyed.
Oh my gosh.
Check us out in the Twitters and all that stuff. Look at the link dump.
Definitely. Hey, Jacob, edit this to be, like, less awkward, because, like, we just don't know what the hell we're doing, because this is so
definitely.
late.
I'm actually
For
gonna
sure.
stretch out each silence by twice.
Stretch it out times 10. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like
It's
every
gonna be about
silence is-
it's gonna be about 3 hours long.
Oh boy.
Longest podcast ever, because you're just adding bouts of silence for the entire
And then
episode.
I'll just call Connor and have him record a Connor's Corner. Just add it on to the end.
But don't let him record it on his own, like, record your phone conversation, so it's, like, really shit quality.
I'm gonna hold my phone up to my microphone,
Yeah.
put it on speaker.
No, don't even put it
Oh
on
my
speaker.
God,
Give it
that
even
real
shittier
quality.
quality.
Well, I think it's been a pretty decent episode.
It's been a decent episode. We are very sorry
like it
we
has.
couldn't get you an actual episode. I know we promised that we'd do a movie-based episode.
Yeah,
But
we'll work on
we're gonna
that
try-
episode.
We're gonna try and do that next week if we can.
School
Again,
started and life got busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, knocking on wood that we aren't going to have any scheduling conflicts. We're going to try and get you that movie podcast. So if you haven't yet, yeah, if you haven't yet, watch After Last Season. We'll be doing a conversation about it next episode, if all things plan out.
Yeah, if not, it'll just be me talking for an hour.
Likely. But yes, again, we apologize that we had to do a little something different, but hopefully everything will be in order. Hopefully this is satisfactory.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit.
This is going to be our lowest
Yeah, it
rated
was
podcast
a
ever.
little
I know,
slice of
right?
Jen.
People are going to be like, what the fuck?
Jen.
Why did
Who
she get a
is
whole
this?
episode to herself?
We're gonna get
Thanks
called out
for
for being
listening,
sexist.
everyone.
Yes, thank
All
you
right.
for all tuning in.
Peace.
Peace out.